Historically, teaching was or could be seen as I walk into my classroom, I shut the door, and this is my domain. And I've actually worked in schools where that was the policy.
No longer. Teachers, like all other professions, must now work in teams. Why? Well, it gets results, as head teacher Carol Couch discovered when she inherited her failing school.
When I came, there was not an element of teamwork that drove the school forwards. It didn't happen overnight, and I would think it probably took about a year of my first year in the school to start developing that ethos of the team and making everybody feel that they'd all got a part to play, that the teachers all had a part, the teaching aides, the dinner ladies, the office staff, the caretaker. Everybody had a say in how this school was going to move forwards.
10 years on, the school, thanks in part at least to successful teamwork, is in Ofsted's good books with an outstanding rating. But how does good teamwork and collaboration work in practice? We decided to take a look at how it's done at Priory Lane Junior School in Scunthorpe.
I think over the years I have become more of a team player. I think when I first started teaching, everyone worked for themselves, and for example, if you produced a worksheet, you like to keep that worksheet to yourself. But as education has progressed, different ideas have come in. It is far better to be a team player. It lessens the workload and ideas are sparked from each other.
Do you do one up-level sentence at a time? So as a whole class, all the way through the lesson, or do you do a couple together and then send them off to do sort of level?
I usually do one or two together, then I will put three, perhaps.
For many, if not most primary teachers, teamwork begins at home in the classroom, as forming a good team with teaching assistants is crucial.
As the years have progressed, we've got to the stage where we have a TA per class. I always consider them in my planning. I always ask them, how can you help me do this? What do you think you could do to help? Have you any good ideas?
She knew how to get to different classes because she's obviously been a few times. She was quite confident, but I think actually inside, deep inside,
she was a little bit
she was
worried.
a little bit nervous.
I feel that I manage my TA well. I've worked with her a long time, and I feel that she knows me very well. I can say I need this, this and this, and it is done. I could go and say, well, we're going to try something different. Do you think you can have a go at doing this? I feel that we're very confident with each other, because I know that if I have to leave the room, she will carry on and follow exactly what I want to do.
Mrs. Strong, how's Bradley been working with Shannon? Because I want to know about that partnership, whether Bradley perhaps needs to work with a different partner for a while.
They're helping each other. Of course, Bradley's coming up with ideas as well as Shannon.
That's good.
We're treated as equals. We're not seen as being the teacher and the TA. We're always included in the lessons, and what we say is valued by the staff, and that gives us confidence to be able to do other things to help the children.
So Mrs. Strong calls them Sunday names, doesn't she? Right? And we all have Sunday names. Our form, well, perhaps you don't, but I think it's a little bit more of an older thing. That
I don't know, I call him Rye. That's your weekday name, isn't it? Rye.
Oh, we'll have to call him Rye.
Ryan is his Sunday name.
Right.
The teachers would never ask us to do anything that they wouldn't do themselves. And that's how I feel. I think I feel valued, knowing that they are prepared to do the things we are too.
Often a team must move from generally working together well to focusing on a specific problem and looking for a way to solve it collaboratively. As literacy coordinator, Jill became concerned about attainment. She decided to launch a school-wide initiative called The Big Right. It meant that all staff had to be part of one team.
To make this work, everybody has to work as the team. Every member of staff had to agree that they wanted this initiative, and that they all had to agree to follow this planning. It was a complete change for some members of staff, but it is working. And on a Monday, this is what we usually do. We have a text, and the children have got their copy, and we're going to read the first, we'll say 2 or 3 paragraphs. So Curtis, would you read the first paragraph for me, please, in your best voice?
This Dunkit murmured one word, carpet, as Grandma Wishbane's flying carpet leapt up from under the bed.
I feel that all staff now know what is expected, what they need to do to tighten up on either their planning, their expectations, and if it works with Year 6, then it works with the lower group. Right, we'll just stop after the first paragraph. Is there any words in there that you don't understand? I think this word here, excitability, what do we think that is? Do we know what it is? How are we going to find out what it is? What are we going to use?
The dictionary.
Dictionary. Have a quick look. Have a look for excitability. So do we note here?
Easily excited.
Easily excited. So we know that this carpet is easily excited.
Mrs Bush works very, very closely with Mr Humberston, Deputy, he's the Year 6 teacher, but also the 2 teaching aides who are based in the Year 6 area. And sometimes one has to remember that there are 2 teachers and 2 teaching aides, because when you look at the way they work together, that they use their initiative, that the input comes from all 4 members of that team, that the Year 6 now are really being taught by 4 people rather than 2. So all the way down the line, you've got this collaboration, this teamwork moving forwards to empower not just the individual, but the team and eventually the children as well.
Teamwork and collaboration has also been essential in the establishment of the school's nurture group, set up to identify and support vulnerable children.
Teamwork for nurture groups is everything, because it's about us providing children with the opportunities for skills, but those skills are designed to be used across the board in the classroom and at home. I work very closely with Debbie, Miss Wheeler, my TA. We need to be very much working as a team and sharing ideas, because if we're wanting to develop certain things in children, it's important that we both do it in the same way. I think it's quite nice that the children know the routine now, so that you can just slot in and take my role as and when, and that's brilliant. So, nurture group then. Who was the daily helper yesterday?
Kieran.
And how did he get on?
Fantastic.
I could not operate successfully without the support of other teachers. I could operate an isolated unit that would meet the needs of children, but it would not achieve what I'm setting out to achieve without the support of colleagues and the teamwork that is absolutely vital. Now, without the support of teachers in building on those skills, identifying when the children are using them in class, then this group would just be a complete waste of time, because we're looking at the children transferring these skills back into the classroom. So those big shops that sell everything, do you know what they're called? There's a special name for those big ones. They're called super... You know?
Super shop.
Oh, nearly. They're called supermarket. Well done, Sammy. They're called supermarkets. Does anybody know the name of a shop that sells meat? Jimmy?
Butchers.
Well done. Fantastic. It's a butcher's. What sort of things do you get in a cafe? What do they sell there?
The hot chocolate, food and...
Things to eat and drink. Over this last year, I would say, if anything in my role has developed, it's my ability to work collaboratively with other people in a completely wide range of settings. So what I thought for targets for him, for first one was smiles in response to positive comments, because I think sometimes he still does that slightly blank thing. And although he smiles very readily in here, he's not transferring that.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Do you think? What do you think about that?
Exactly, yeah, I agree. He doesn't... It just sort of shows no emotion in class.
Yeah.
You don't really know whether he's actually listening sometimes, yeah.
But he's mastered that quite well within the group, so now we need to be looking at transferring that back into the classroom. I'm also transferring those skills now over into my role on the senior leadership team, in collaborating at looking at ways we can move the school forward as a whole. So it's developed greatly in that way as well.
I think that's probably been one of the biggest benefits, isn't it? It's this positive self-esteem thing
And the recognition that they
Yes.
maybe didn't have on the old system,
Yes.
but that now they're getting on this system because they've got something concrete to say, look at me, I've been good all day, now I've got my gold star at the end.
And I've got a reward for it.
Yes.
Increasingly, schools will be asked not only to work in teams within the building, but to form alliances with other schools, so that a number linked either by proximity or by common interests can work successfully together.
Yeah.
So the methods that I've developed in school, I've been asked if I'll go and share those with other head teachers and leadership teams. And the way that was set up, it was under the new primary strategy, and we were allocated so many schools. I found that wonderful for myself as a head teacher, because I've been able to go to a school, sit down and say to them, right, where are you at this moment in time? Where is your school? And then through discussion, through questioning techniques, through sharing of ideas, resources, sharing of staff, we can help each other move our schools forwards. And that has been a bonus to both sides, I think, because in our job, as in any job, there's never enough time to do all that you want to do. And so by being given this opportunity to go and work with other head teachers, it's also enhancing my own education and my own professional opinion of things.
Basically, what we used to do in the past, we used to have lots of data analysis. We used to look at the question analysis that we still do now. We look at the results at the end of Key Stage 2. We look at the QCA results. We made bar charts and everything like that of everything that was going on. But what concerned us was we wanted to know what was happening overall within the curriculum and then pinpoint children.
And how have you got that information in there? Have you had to sit down and put it all in?
Initially, yes.
Because we've started doing this in our school, haven't we? But via Pack Tracker.
Well, that's what we're going to be starting to look at. So maybe if you're starting that, maybe at some point I'll be able to come across and look to see what you're doing on that side. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. Well, we try and get as many different people involved with the school as possible, and we try to share good practice as we encourage other people to come to us and share good practice with us. And so we are forming relationships and partnerships that enable us to develop better systems of, for instance, assessment, better systems in terms of teaching, progression in lessons, things like that, and transition modules in particular as well. So it was a case of sharing ideas, and in fact in that meeting they started sharing their ideas of what they do at their school, and so the invite's being extended, so I may very well go to their school to say what they do as well.
Teamwork and collaboration is only going to become more important, and no teacher can now afford to ignore the opportunities of working together with all their colleagues in school.
We haven't, I have to say, we have no members of staff in this school that don't work as a team and that won't share and that won't open their doors. But had we taken in a new member of staff who didn't feel comfortable with that, then we would show them through peer and self-observation, by observing good practice, by introducing them to a TA that knew the system really well, and that would help them bed their way into a system, into a school. So the TA would work with them, introduce them to the policies and the practices, and gradually just drip feed ideas and move them forward slowly, 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 until without realising they are part of that team and they're showing their own initiative and developing their own ideas and wanting to move that team forwards.